Hello, I'm Danica, and this is Yoga with Danica. Today's practice is a restorative yoga practice for forgiveness with a relaxation meditation at the end. You will need 2 yoga blocks today and a blanket. Make your way onto your mat and let's get started. Let's begin today finding a comfortable seat and then closing the eyes. Finding your groundedness in the moment, lengthening the spine, lifting the heart. On your next inhale, reach the arms out wide and up over the head. Palms connect. And as you exhale, draw it down the center, bringing the palms in front of the heart. 2 more times just like that. Deep breath in, reach the arms up. And slow exhale as you trace the palms down the midline of the body. Last one, inhale, reach up, stretch, ground down through the sitting bones, reach up through the fingertips. Palms connect as you exhale and draw them down in front of the heart. Just taking one moment here to set an intention for yourself for this practice. Phrasing it in the terms I am as if it were already the truth. Deep breath in and exhale out. Release the hands, blink open the eyes. We're going to grab our blocks and we're going to set them up on the lowest level at the top of the mat, stacked right in front of each other. I have them long ways across my mat so I have more space for my back. So what we're going to do is the one closest to you is going to be right at the tips of your little shoulder wings, and this back one is for your head. So you can take a moment here to adjust however you need to. And then allowing the arms to open out wide if that feels okay for you, and stretching the legs out long. Or if you want a little bit more intensity or opening in the hips, you can bring the soles of the feet together and let the knees butterfly out. Whatever way feels comfortable, and you can breathe and maintain it for a couple minutes. So I'd just like to preface this little restorative class on forgiveness by saying, I am not a psychologist, and I'm by no means an expert. So everything that I say throughout this practice is simply my experience on forgiveness. You can have your eyes closed or open here as you just allow your body to settle here. And it usually takes about a minute for your body, for your nervous system to feel safe enough to relax. But go at your own pace. And then as you breathe in, begin to scan the body to maybe check in with perpetual places of tension, unnecessary places of tension, or just anything else that seems interesting to you. So with forgiveness, I feel there's a lot of letting go and accepting what is there. letting go is the hardest part. And I think you can even feel that in your physical body, in the muscles, even in this position of opening the heart, that there is an unwillingness for your muscles to completely let go. And that's great, that's there for your protection. It's trying to protect you. Your brain is doing the same thing with your unwillingness to let go and forgive. It's just to protect you. Keep breathing. Finding a new place in the body to surrender. Maybe see what happens if you let go in your shoulders, in your face, or maybe even in your belly. Because those are typically our habitual places of tension. Just be here for about 3 or 4 more breaths. Take your time. Learn to move at your own time. Maybe find one last place to relax here for the last 2 breaths. Bend the knees so the soles of the feet are on the ground. And then moving very slowly in your own time, we're just going to transition by gently rolling off of the blocks. Coming to lay on your side. And you can take the blocks, set them off to the side for now, but keep them within reaching distance. And then we're just going to lay here for a moment. Taking deep breaths, filling up the whole body. What does it feel like to move at this slow of a pace? In your own time, we're going to make our way up into this little couch-like laying position, couch potato position, with your hand underneath your head. And then grab a hold of one of your blocks and place it down by your knee. So we're going to bring the right knee on top of the block. And I like to kind of hook my kneecap over the edge of the block just for a little extra anchoring. And then straighten the bottom leg out. And take a few seconds to adjust however you need. There's a couple of options here. You can stay in this position with your bottom leg outstretched and move into the twist. Or you can bend the bottom knee and reach back for your foot or your ankle. And then allow your upper body to lean back onto the ground. And you can do whatever feels good with that left hand. You can bring it up over your head or straight out to the side, or you can keep it behind your head, whatever feels good for you. And if it doesn't feel good to have your hand grasping your foot, then just outstretch it. No need to force anything. And then check in with those habitual places of tension, wherever they may be for you. And what I find interesting about habits is how they can really be anything. You can make a habit out of anger, out of sadness. You can make a habit out of your train of thought. Take a deep breath in. And as you exhale, let yourself really relax into this pose and even loosen the grip on your foot if you have it clasped. And notice what that brings up for you, because I notice when I start to relax that there's a little twitch in my left arm. I don't know what it means, but it's interesting that it's my body's way of not fully trusting the moment and letting go. The good news about habits is that we can change them into anything we want. But first, we really have to be mindful of what they are and willing to face the truth. Holding on to bad habits, negative trains of thoughts, that might not be the most beneficial way to spend our time here on earth, right? But no one can simply say, stop, right now. Forgive, let go, move on. That's just not how it works. Everybody's moving at their own speed. But checking in with those habits, like right now, check in with that habitual place of tension for you and your body, and notice if it unconsciously crept back into your body. There's no judgment at all. Just notice how easy it is to be under the radar. We really have to be mindful of the things that we hold on to. Take 2 more deep breaths here and really let your body relax and fill up the body with each breath. You'll release the foot if you got it. And then very slowly, maybe taking that right arm up over the head. And then rolling back onto the left side. You can use a block or your arm underneath your head. And we're just going to pause here for a moment. Let your body realign, readjust. Take a few deep breaths. And then you can set that block off to the side. But keep the knee bent, and we're just going to slide it out and roll onto our belly, placing the forehead on the hands. Coming into this version of a half frog. So your right toes will be pointed out away from you, knees bent at a 90-degree angle. And then just let your body relax here and breathe. Last deep breath in and out. And you'll very slowly roll yourself onto your back, placing both feet on the ground. Bring the soles of the feet as wide as the mat, and then just let the knees tent in towards each other. And breathe. Another simple component to forgiveness, in my opinion, is giving yourself grace. Wherever you are in your forgiveness journey is where you are. It's where you're meant to be. It's where you are. And you're not moving on anyone else's timeline. If you're forgiving yourself or someone close to you, it's hard. It's hard to let go of the pain sometimes. But trust that it can happen. But it can't be forced. Grab a hold of your block again and set it over on the other side. And we'll roll over onto our right side. Just first pausing here in this fetal position. The knees bent, head resting on the ground or on your arm. And then when you're ready, we'll bring the top knee on the block and sort of hook that kneecap over the block so it anchors it, keeps it in place, and then you can stretch that leg out long. You can stay here. You can come up into your couch position, couch potato position, your head under, hand underneath your head. And then perhaps bend that bottom knee, reach back for the foot. And then allow your upper body to lean back. Do what you want with the right arm. Notice this side likely feels different. Maybe easier, maybe harder. Maybe more sticky, maybe less. Try to release in your habitual place of tension first. I know in times when I've been really stuck trying to forgive someone or myself, I get stuck in a loop of negative thoughts, negative trains of thoughts. And sometimes that can go on for a long time, just being stuck in the belief behind the event that happened. And in my own time, however long that takes, I just want to ask myself, is this habit or train of thought helping me in any way move forward, live happier? Or is it perhaps keeping me stuck in a loop of negative thinking, which has the power to keep me in a loop of negative behaviors? Try to take a deep breath and release that tension again in your habitual place. And just notice what it feels like to breathe here in this posture, in this twisty, strange position. How can you soften a little bit more into the moment? Let's take 2 more deep breaths here. And then you'll release your foot, keeping your left knee on the block as you slowly, actually let's take that left arm up over the head and slowly roll ourselves onto our right side. Pausing for a moment, letting the body integrate. And then we'll set that block off to the side, keeping the knee bent and the right leg outstretched. You're just going to roll onto your belly, coming into a half frog pose with your left knee at a 90-degree angle. Upper body's facing the ground and just bringing the head onto the hands. And breathe. One more breath. And then we'll just start to bring that knee in towards the body so you're lying straight on your belly. Bring the palms out by your chest. We're going to push ourselves up into a tabletop. And then bring the knees as wide as the mat, toes touch, sink the hips back into a child's pose. Complete surrender. And again, even here, as I try to relax and release into this position, there's still that little twitch happening in my arm. An unwillingness to completely surrender. And that's okay. I just observe it. And wait for it to soften. So there's lots of ways to surrender. Sometimes it really takes a surrendering to the anguish, letting yourself really feel all of these feelings. Forgiveness without time or reflection is just simply avoidance. Things need time. Take 2 more deep breaths here. As you inhale, lifting yourself back up into a tabletop, we're going to make our way down into our Shavasana. And if you have a blanket or want to use a blanket, you can drape it any way you want, or you can just place it on your hips. Just take your time to set yourself up really well here so you feel comfortable as I guide us through a short relaxation meditation on forgiveness. So when you get to where you're going, close your eyes. Give your arms and legs enough space so that you can feel your body really beginning to melt into the ground. Taking a couple breaths on your own, just scanning your body, searching for anything interesting, anything that feels stuck. And if you find a place like that, directing your energy there will help it to soften. Becoming aware of something allows you to take better care of it. Bring your attention to the top of your head. As you breathe, feel the top of your head softening, relaxing. The forehead softening, relaxing. The space between the eyes. Let the eyes soften into the eye socket. Cheeks. Lips. Let your teeth slightly part and the tongue lie across the top of the mouth, the roof of the mouth. Relax the ears, Let the whole face completely soften. Relax in your neck. Let the shoulders melt even more towards the ground. Imagine that your chest feels weightless. Allowing a real ease in the breath. Soften the right upper arm bone, the lower arm bone, the wrist, the fingers, the right palm of the hand. Let the whole right arm feel really heavy. Imagine your chest is weightless. Feeling a real ease in the breath. Relax the left upper arm bone, the left lower arm bone, wrist, fingers, the left palm of the hand. Allow the whole left arm to feel heavy, anchored. Feel the weightlessness of the chest and ease in the breath. Soften the belly. Soften in the pelvis, the right hip, right thigh, right shin, right ankle, right sole of the foot. Allow the whole right leg to feel heavy, rooted. Left hip, left thigh, left shin, left ankle, sole of the foot, the whole left leg is heavy, and rooted. The whole body completely lets go, completely relaxes into this moment. There's nowhere to be but here right now. The whole body completely lets go, completely relaxes in this moment. Forgiveness is the ultimate act of self-care. And like all self-care, it takes effort, a letting go of negative self-talk, negative thought patterns, and showing up to the moment, to what is, without judgment. Moving at your own speed, in your own time. Feel the weightlessness in your chest. An ease in the breath that seems to travel through the body without effort. The whole body completely lets go, relaxes into this moment where you are safe right now, right here in this moment. Every day, we begin to shed more and more the negative patterns of thoughts and behaviors that are keeping us stuck in a place of pain or anguish, regret. Keeping us in a state of an unwillingness to let go. And though the process may seem daunting, it can be done at your own pace, in your own time. It can be done. Feel the weightlessness in your chest, allowing the breath to move throughout the whole body with ease. Forgiveness is the ultimate act of self-care. we slowly and mindfully build the habits that help us to get out of this pattern of negative thoughts and behaviors. We slowly build the habits. And each day, whether we realize it or recognize it completely, we are letting go. We are moving into a new level of letting go, a new level of forgiveness towards ourselves, towards other people. Feel the weightlessness in your chest. Allowing the breath to move with ease throughout the entire body. The act of forgiveness ebbs and flows. But through building our habits, we trust that they are not setbacks. It's the nature of things. Forgiveness is the ultimate act of self-care. It takes effort and a willingness to show up every day to whatever is present. Feel the weightlessness in your chest, allowing the breath to move freely throughout the entire body. Forgiveness is the ultimate act of self-care. As we begin to transition out of our deep, restful place, a gentle reminder to stay in this meditative headspace. Move slowly, mindfully. Just gentle movements at first, moving the fingers and toes. Maybe circling out the wrists and ankles. Maybe stretching the arms up over the head for a full body stretch. And I will leave you here. You can bring your palms to touch in front of the heart, or you can rest them on the heart, whichever feels better for you. So we can close our practice together with 3 mindful, deep breaths in and out at your own pace. Begin when you're ready. Thank you for showing up and sharing your practice with me today. Namaste.